Streaming cyberspace into your place from the Nürburgring. It's the Virtual Grip Network's 5th round coverage of the Andy Morgan Cup's 36th season, sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League. Guten Tag, everyone, on this Sunday, May 19th, 2024. Zach Shaggy Chapman joins yours truly, Bill Simpson, high up in the BGN press box to be our words eye view. We play Ryan Seneker, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. Let's set the table for you. Season 36 started with a doubleheader in both Interlagos and Road America, a single race in Le Mans, and last time out of Sebring, another doubleheader, which brings us to today for race number 8 here at the Green Hell. Shaggy, what do you know about this place?
Well, I know it wasn't that good to me this weekend at the Nürburgring 24. Man, this track is very difficult, very thin at certain spots, and you really gotta know where you're at. They have the benefit here of being in the daytime at least, so visuals shouldn't be too big of a problem, but you can't rely on racing off that guy in front of you, like you normally can at other simpler tracks. It's real easy to make a mistake. Gotta know this place by the back of your hand. They're parked on the real long straightaway here on the back. We're gonna see a bunch of passing here, so we're going to see speeds of upwards, I imagine, in the draft. Probably 175. They're getting 170 by themselves at the top of the hill, but we'll see them maybe push 180 there. They're going to be flying in here, and they'll go up through a quick S into a hard right-hander, and then a quick left along the pitch straight, and that'll be where we take the green flag. But going through the airfield, that's going to be interesting. You got to make sure you're not full throttle going up there. I'll talk about it as we get there. It's a couple minutes away. Even when they go green, but the car's going to actually come off the ground there, and the steering wheel is going to get real light. You got to make sure your hands are as stiff as stone, and you land that thing locked. If you get squirrely with the wheel while you're up in the air and you land different than how you came off, it's going to be a wild ride into a hard right-hander, and it's not forgiving. The wall comes up quick, you're going to destroy the car. So gonna have to race smart today, Soup, and realize it's a long race, real endurance race, actually. Normally we do go 40 minutes. They're all 40 minutes, but this track, it's gonna take a toll on you.
14 cars on the grid. Let's give it to you right now. Your points leader, Marcus Byfeld. He's on the pole. He's going to be flanked by the man who's at second in point, David Byrne. Shaggy.
And starting on the inside of row number 3, we've got Vincent Brame into his outside, JT Coppin.
Third in the points of Potacek. He'll start 5th today. Veteran Ludwig Sauer outside of him.
Isaac Malmqvist, if I'm not getting that right, please tell us. You're always more than welcome to join in the booth. He's going to roll off P7, and Byron Debelo is going to roll off P8.
There you go. In 9th spot, it is Gregory Nutley. He's going to be inside of Ryan Campbell.
Klaus Loden, P11, and is outside Matthew Chipperfield.
Veteran Vladimir Sajek always racing with us. He's in the Baker's dozen spot. Did not put in a qualifying time, as did Tom Yent. And then James Molyneux back there in 14th. All right, they've worked their way through that straight. They're heading down into the start line here in a second. We have a full 40 minutes of racing. There will be a pit stop. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Gather up the chickens. Take cover on the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. Point leader Byfeld leads the stampede down into the first corner. There is a battle now for second. And it's going to be Vincent Brame who gets the best of Burns. Burns, a notorious slow starter. He's going to lose a position here again. In fact, he loses not more than one. He's going to lose several positions.
Yeah, Burns he was able to do the cutback there, hold on to second. So not going to let Byfeld get away just yet. But, I'm glad you brought up the fact that they're pitting today, Soup. We forgot to talk about that. Big track like this, we're going to have a busy pit road. I imagine they all pit at the same time.
Yeah, with the lap time that's running about 8.5 minutes, the pit window will be very small, probably just 1, maybe 2 laps. You certainly don't want to miss your pit window here, because you're not going to be able to push the car around. It's too far. And there we already have a casualty here, as the Nürburgring has already collected one. It was a driver well in the back, James Molyneux. Started 14th, wasn't able to put in qualifying time, and wasn't able to get even 1/4 of the way through the first lap before he had issues. How far is it around here? Well, let me tell you something, folks. It's a long way. Check my notes. I believe it's like 26 kilometers, 16 miles, something like that. I may have that wrong.
Oh, no, yeah.
I think
that's what I got too.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Did that one by memory. Oh my goodness, I'm getting old, but I'm not there yet. Marcus Byfield now beginning to open it up. The gap almost a second over Burns. You heard Shaggy talk about Burns getting that spot back. Vincent Bream racing in third, chasing him behind. Burns and Bream are teammates for Two Stupid Dogs. That team is crushing it in the points championship for the teams.
And you know, don't get me wrong, you can, but we're not going to see many people, I don't think, try to make many passes through this section here today. As the curbs, you don't want to take a lot of curb here. Really upsets the car, so you want to try to stay as single file as you can.
Put the camera on the 007 car of Gregory Netley. He started in 9th spot. He is racing at 7th, already up 2 spots. He's trying to run down Ludwig Sauer.
Yeah, and when they were still in the Formula One track, before they made the left-hander to come back here, he was side by side with Ludwig. He was trying to make a move, and he's getting a big run on him here now. We might think about, this is the airfield, you got to be careful. Car's going to come off the ground right there, and quick right-hander. Is he going to make a move? No.
Love this track as they work through that left-hander. A little bit of a ways before they get up to Jacek Potacek racing comfortably in 5th. We'll try to cover all the battles, but what happens so often, I've covered enough races here that passes are often made. Let's continue to look at, let's go back and look at Nutley here as he's working on Sauer. He's right there. So often, passes here, Shaggy, are made not so much by race skill, but the track getting the best of the driver in front of you.
No, you're exactly right, and sometimes it's luck. I mean, went back, I had to check a replay. Matt Chipperfield, he's going to have a little front end damage. He was coming around. Newcomer Isaac Malmqvist, he spun out all by himself. He ended up having to tow, but man, he ended up collecting a guy who was sitting there, and the track's so thin, there's nowhere anybody can go.
And when you take a tow, it's not like magic. They put you back there on the in pit lane, right, Shaggy? A track like this, iRacing takes that into consideration, and it's a while before you'll get taken care of.
Yeah, sadly, I know from experience how long it takes. I wrecked around that same area, and it was about a 12-minute tow last night, so he may have to get a crossword puzzle out.
There's Sauer in blue and Nutley in white. One of the best battles on the track. With such a small field hill today, we'll be able to give a lot of screen time to a lot of the drivers.
No, in that corner they just went through right there, that's one that can really catch you sleeping. It looks so familiar to the high-speed part that they're about to come up now, and if you forget your braking point, that right-hander can take you out of the race so quick. But man, Gregory Nutley, he's going to get a lot of draft going up this hill suit.
Best battle out there right now. There's a lot of open space. If you're one of the simulated fans that's come trackside to watch this race, well, go with God, because it's going to be another 8 minutes till the 15 cars start to get in your area again. Boy, that was a great shot there. You can see the 3 guys up front, Byfield, Burns, and Bream. And then you can see, you saw there for a while, Sauer and Nutley racing. There's my favorite corner on the track.
Carousel.
You can look out there. A lot of graffiti out there. I can do some, study a little German in high school, do some translations for you right there. Oh, I see something that says VGN is the best broadcasting network. Did you see that one? That was somebody put that in German. That was nice of them.
It was really nice of them. I'll tell you who else is looking nice right now. Burns, he's chewing up that gap a little bit. It was almost 2 seconds. He's got it back down to a second. He's flying coming down the mountain.
Riding on board with Wojciech Potacek, looking ahead at TJ Koppelman and Vincent Bream. And just going out of your screen right now, you can see just the tail end of Burns and Beifeld. They are really beginning to pull away.
Yeah, and this is such a critical part of the track for Burns. He needs to close as much gap as he can and try to get within a second of that long straightaway. If he does, I mean, you know as well as I do, Soup, we could have a lead change on that long straightaway. So he's got to push the car even to the point where it doesn't feel comfortable. He's got to make up that ground.
Well, if he's close enough, we can have 2 lead changes on that long straightaway there at the end. Racing at the Nürburgring is the only racetrack where I actually feel like I've gone somewhere when I race. Not just going in a circle.
Backcountry road driving. This is what it's all about.
Looking at a battle there. Oh, and there was the black car's going to get out of the way. Who are we looking at there? That was, a little farther back. That was Loudon in that battle with Brian Debelud. Debelud got out of the way. Move Klaus Loudon now up into 8th spot. He's up 3 spots from where he came. Go ahead.
Nutley's starting to get a good draft on Sauer here, coming up under the tunnel on this long straightaway. He might think about making a move. I don't know if he's going to get there, though.
He's closing 4 car lengths back, 3 car lengths back now. I can't, from my camera angle, I can't tell the manufacturers there. That looks like is that a Porsche? The Porsche on Porsche action there?
Audi against I believe.
Look at that. That's an Audi. And you're right. It's a Mercedes and an Audi. Nutley in the Audi. Sauer in the Mercedes. One of the fun parts of sports car racing.
Yeah, very exciting news. Yeah, news too from iRacing. They're adding 2 new GT3 cars, American-made cars. They didn't say what they were yet, but I'm hoping one's a Corvette.
Ooh, that would be good.
At least he's peaking. He's peaking. He's going to get a good run here.
And down he'll be on the. Now he tucks back in behind. Could not get that done, but he still has plenty of time. Taking one look at the different racing line. He takes a wide entrance, gets the shorter exit. Good racing going on between these guys. Laps don't matter, but if you count them, we're on lap number 2. 40 minutes of racing, 8 minutes a lap. You do the math. Will we get 5 laps in? Probably yes. I would think that the pit stop window would be on, well, dead center, lap number 3. They might be able to go a little farther. They might be able to stretch it, do it on the 4th lap.
Yeah, but like you said, long way around here. You probably don't want to risk it. If you're seeing other guys duck in, you're probably going to too. No reason to risk it.
Okay, now there's Podolchek in that battle with TJ Kopperman. They both race in the same order, but it's a 2-car battle right now, but maybe not for long, right, Shaggy?
No, yeah, they're coming up on Brame, and not too far up the road from Brame is Burns. Burns has kind of lost touch with the leader Beifeld a little bit. Gap's up over 2 seconds, so we're going to have quite an interesting battle here at the ring, so make sure you stick around.
Some great camera shots at you. Going back to Sauer and Nutley. Nutley continuing to chase. He is being pesky. You got to run. You looking to drive her right.
This is a risky place to make a pass here. I think, he thought best, backed out of the front. I'm just going to get in line. Oh, man, you see the car, it lifts up. You just see the shocks decompress. It's such a scary feeling when you're the driver. The steering wheel gets so light over that jump.
There is some good racing, and there's the battle for fourth position. The red and blue car, that is TJ Koppelman, started in fourth, racing in fourth right now, being chased by... Here we go. Of course, let me get my initials right. It is JT. Being chased by veteran Wojciech Podolczak. The car you see just at the top of the screen right now, that white one, that's Vincent Brame.
And if you're Podolczak, you're clearly, you've got the pace. You're a little faster than JT right now, and you're both running down Brame, so you got the pace on him. You don't want to waste a lot of time, we do have 20, 26, 27 minutes left. It seems like a lot of time, but here, 3 more laps. So you're only going to get to go through so many passing sections, a couple more times. And then a lot of it's tight-knit single file where you got to really hang it out if you want to make a pass. So he's got to get a little closer as Wojciech's losing some ground here.
Yeah, he had a bad corner there where he put the right sides on the rumble strips and slowed him down a little bit. Nutley continued to chase Sauer. Nutley up 2 positions from where he started. He has looked on Sauer a little bit. He's dropped back a little bit now. The Audi chasing that Mercedes. Want to give a tip of the hat. We'll take a second since things are slowing down a bit. Let's look at car number 11. This is Vladimir Sedgchek. We don't get to talk about him much. He's all racing out there all by himself right now. Why do we care about him? You might be asking. Well, he started in 13th position. He's currently racing in 9th, I believe. 10th. There we go. Up 3 spots. In car number 11. Beautiful paint job on that car. Look at the drone camera that... oh, sorry. We're not on the drone camera. Look at that shot coming right at him. Beautiful looking machine there.
Oh, Gregory Nutley in the wall. Oh, no.
He was chasing, he was chasing, he was chasing, and then he finally... Car just got loose. Now the Audis are tough. And there is a pit stop coming up, so he can get some quick work done on that one. He did not lose a position. All he did was lose a lot of real estate to the man.
Oh, and he's big wreck for him now. Big wreck for Nutley right now. Oh, man.
Yeah, he didn't know what he was racing. The car, he's going to park it there, and that's going to be end of the day for him. Well, we started with 15 drivers. Not sure if Tom Vent actually went to the track. He did not, so 14 went to the grid. We still have, I think, a good 12 racing. We may have lost Malmqvist, and now I believe Nutley.
Yeah, Ryan Campbell is just in a big wreck. I just saw that. That's lost another one here.
We'll get a replay of that. He's going to bang it on all sides of the track there as he bounces left to right to left.
I think these guys stayed up and watched some Shaggy TV on YouTube last night and trying my driving lines out.
Yeah.
I looked a lot like a couple of these cars last night.
So self-promotion from my partner. Not quite at the halfway mark yet. There you can see the battle for third. The white car is Vincent Breme, JT Koppelman in the blue and red machine. And then, I'll take a shot at the citrus-flavored car of Wojciech Podolczak.
Yeah, I'm going to work with that color. Me personally, that Wojciech Podolczak, his car reminds me of the Jamaican bobsled team right now. Cool running style.
Looks like you have a pair of Ferraris running third and fourth for Bream and Koppelman, and then Podacek in a BMW, I believe.
Yep. 3 Ferraris in the top 5 because our leader Beifelt, he's out there in one. He's long gone. He's got 3.5 second lead almost over Burns now.
Scroll through the field to see if anyone is brave enough to get out there in the prettiest car. That Ford. I don't see a Ford out there today.
No, man, I don't think that GT would like these bumps too much. That wouldn't be a very forgiving track for that car. I wouldn't have the cojones for it. That's for sure.
2 new cars coming, I've been told from you, huh? That'll be exciting.
Yeah. iRacing said they were American manufacturers in their post. They didn't say what they were. So
you know what? It leaves the glimmer of hope open for me when you say American manufacturers. Could it be? Could they be bringing to iRacing the Delta Wing?
Oh my gosh!
I think I'm all by myself.
An interesting car.
I have 3 requests from iRacing. They just blow me off for nonsense. The Delta Wing, I would like them to do school buses and hot air balloons. But it's all falling on deaf ears.
Oh, man. I saw a funny question last night on a stream. They asked someone, would you rather finish last place at Le Mans or win a double-decker English bus race?
A win's a win. I'll take them however they come, man.
Yeah, but getting to race Le Mans would be cool in itself. You know what I'm saying? It's like, would you rather win in the double-decker bus or race at Le Mans? You know?
No. That checkered flag of the double-decker. Great battle going on here. I think Podacek may be in a hurry because he sees that Brima's up there as well if he can just get around. Now, another thing to think about is pit stops are coming as they are working lap number 3. I think that the window is a little past halfway, so maybe this is not the lap they go on. But you might want to think about maybe getting aggressive after you've gotten your fuel. So here's how they do it, folks. They don't start with low fuel. They start with a smaller gas tank, so they have to empty the tank a little bit to make room for the fuel they need to put in.
Yeah, I definitely like how they do that because limiting the fuel, making them run a smaller gas tank is much better than a lot of people can exploit pit on that lap 1 if they have an incident and fill the gas tank up the whole way and make sure they can make it. So these guys definitely do it the right way.
Well, I tell you, the Polish driver is right there looking for any opportunity he can. Look at the gap, though, that have between Podacek there. It's a good 17 seconds back to Ludwig Sauer.
Yeah,
go ahead.
He's aware of that, so he's definitely taking his time. But at the same time, you mentioned Vincent Brame up there. That's he's licking his lips. He doesn't just want one here. He knows if he can maybe pull this pass off before that long straightaway, then he's got a shot at Bream before maybe he ducks off into pit road.
I don't know why. It's the nature of this track that seems to really emphasize large gaps. I mean, in theory, there's the mistake from Podacek. You saw him in the grass. That's going to cost him some time. Fortunately for him, he's the faster of the 2 drivers. I think he'll be able to run it and run him down, unless he gets a slowdown penalty, but I don't think so. I think that was just an off track.
Yeah, it looked like he was far enough to the left for it just to be a simple off track. And Soup, I thought he was going to lose a lot more time than he did. He did a good job of just keeping the wheel straight and getting back in the gas and keeping the left tires in the grass and making sure he didn't get in the brakes until he got back on the asphalt. I personally would have lost 2 or 3 seconds there, I bet. But, man, he barely lost anything.
Do you know what I find interesting? And, again, I'm not sure if it's just because of the size of the track, but it seems like large gaps seem to open up here more than they would at a regular track. I mean, it's already 3.5 seconds. Well, I guess that would happen if we were in Interlagos, but It just seems such a long way away now.
Well, no, yeah, and this track really encourages different setups, Soup. You can go for high downforce, make sure you're really fast on the straightaways, or you can make sure you're set up and can handle a little more curb than the other cars and take the bumps a little better. So we'll see people like Wotek, maybe he went with the high downforce. He's really running him down here in this straightaway. But we've seen him struggle a little bit in some of the slower corners. So maybe that's where JT is able to just gap enough that the speed advantage of the high downforce setup, just doesn't really pay off.
You can see on the tower, not a lot of close battles if you look up there. In fact, we even have the tower set up to where it will highlight anything that is very close. Everybody in white right now. One more time, let's put the camera on car number 11. He is up 5 spots. Vladimir Sedchek started in 13th, racing in 8th. Some of those are vultured for my attrition, but he's having a nice run. He's got him 4 seconds on Brian W. Let's go ahead and look at him too in the number 00 machine. He has dropped a spot from where he started. Don't want to stay here too long because we don't want to miss the pass that Podolchek is going to try to make. And as we get back to that, we can see just from the time we are gone, Podolchek's lost some ground. I wonder if he made a mistake while we were gone.
Yeah, he had made a minimal off track. It never got in the wall or anything, just a little bit to mess him up. He's actually chewed some of the ground back. I've stayed on board with him most of the time. But yeah, I think, he's just a little frustrated. You can tell he's got the speed, and then when he gets to him, he catches JT in some of the most technical parts of the track that it's so difficult to pass on, and that can build on you as a driver, and I just think he's starting to see that red mist a little bit.
Got to give a tip of the hat to what iRacing has done. Look at that scenery. That's really nice looking. If you've been on the service long enough, you forget all the things that they have done. We all cheered when they brought in dynamic weather. Oh my goodness, dynamic weather. Now we just take it for granted. When they brought in dynamic track conditions, oh my goodness, dynamic track conditions. Now we just take it for granted. They continue to just impress.
They really do. The way you can see some of the marble build up on the outside of these corners, it's just unbelievable. And, it's not just visual, like you said. It's dynamic track. If you get your car out there and you pick up a bunch of those, rubber pellets, you feel it the next couple corners. It's the iRacing. This is just a phenomenal simulation.
Let's go to the leader right now. It could be pit stop time. Marcus Beifeld has just finished the long straightaway, coming into the twisty section. And let's see if he decides this is when I need to come in for a stop. Yep, I guess we're going to go around more time. Burns says he needs to go in. Could be a couple things. Perhaps his Porsche is a thirstier than the Ferrari. Maybe the Ferrari can go a little bit farther. Burns will come in. Now, they will not change tires here. It's just there's not enough time to do it, and they don't get enough benefit from it.
No, it's just all about making sure you're getting that pit box smooth. You don't want to overshoot your pit box there. Man, you're going to look like a fool here.
Okay, page 17 of the VGN Commentator's Handbook says, add drama to the broadcast whenever possible. Everybody and their brother came in for fuel. There is not one driver that passed up on the opportunity to come in and top off, except for Marcus Beifeld, the leader.
I think Vincent Brame thought he was sitting in his pit box, and then I saw him inch forward. He wasn't far enough up to the pit stop. That's going to cost Vincent so much time.
He was yelling at his men to come over and get to work, and they couldn't do it until he got to the right position.
And now it's to the point he's been in here a long time. You got to wonder if maybe he forgot to click off those tires.
So things go truly from bad to worse as it's mistake after mistake. And when we talk about mistake, Marcus Beifeld, the only one of the 14 drivers out there, who did not come in for a stop. He's got to get that Ferrari around another 26 kilometers.
Yeah, I'm nervous for him, Soup. When the rest of the field pits, that's normally a sign that they probably couldn't go anymore because you know as well as I do, these things are faster with a lower fuel load. So if they could have went, I feel like the majority would have stayed.
If they could have went, they would have went, one would think. Maybe the disadvantage of Byfield being the first to pit lane, he had to make the decision. And maybe it's a case of everybody else doing whatever the leader doesn't do.
You know, talk about how you can have trouble in the pits. Well, talk about how you can do a good job in the pits. Votek, he gained 2 spots there, was able to get by JT and, Vincent. Little trouble in the pits, but hey, he benefits from it, up to P3.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and set the stage for you now. Byfield, of course, racing out there still needs to make a stop. That's why that gap is so large back to Burns. Burns racing in second. We're going to take you through the field. Burns in second. Really not have to worry too much from Potacek. He's going to race hard because there's a chance that he could do the undercut, perhaps. With a bad pit stop for Byfield up in front, he's still within striking distance, just 35 seconds back.
Yeah,
go ahead.
He wants that bonus point for fastest lap too, so don't forget about that.
Here
so
you
he's
go.
Going to push that thing.
All right, go back to Vocek Potacek, Shaggy, and well, he was in that battle that involved Koppinen and Potacek, and he's now sitting in third position.
Yeah, and we've seen since him and JT came out the pits at the exact same time, and he's been able to increase that gap to 1.5 seconds. So he clearly did have the pace, but it just shows the degree of difficulty here trying to make a pass on the Nürburgring.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was chasing Koppelman the whole time, right? So he was able to get the pass made in pit lane, yes?
Yeah, chasing Koppinen, who was chasing Brahms. So, that's just he was able to benefit from Brahms' bad pit stop, and I guess maybe in and out a little quicker, maybe took a little less fuel than JT, but he's able to capitalize.
We look at pit stop times there. Potacek was in his box for 13.3 seconds. Koppelman for 14.8. So 1.5 seconds difference. That's about, that's makes up pretty much the interval that they're out there right now. So there you have it. We drop back to the driver in fifth. This is Ludwig Sauer. He spent much of the early part of the race in that battle with Gregory Nutley. Nutley, he lost it into the Armco. So Sawyer out there all by himself. But Shaggy, because what you mentioned about Vincent Bream, well, there you see him, cost him several spots.
Yeah, and he's going to be frustrated based on, it's not one lap pace, but based on one lap pace, he is the third fastest car, and he was sitting in P3. He's going to be a little disappointed that he didn't take the time. A lot of guys, when they're sitting on the grid, they'll immediately click the tires off when they're sitting still before they even started driving. So he is going to be kicking himself as he goes back and looks at the result here.
Drop back to the driver in seventh, Klaus Loudon, up 4 spots. You can see on the tower that I guess he's within shouting distance of a few guys. Having a nice run. Dropping back into 8th, Brian Debelou. Running a couple spots behind from where he qualified.
And, we saw him run smart, too. He had got out of the carousel earlier a little up top, and he's just doing what he needs to do. He didn't cut anybody off. He's out here learning the track and getting laps, and, that's just what makes you better, going out here running with these guys.
One more position back is car number 11. We've documented what he's been able to do. Vladimir Sedchek up 4 spots. Klaus Loudon up 4 spots as well. So both of those drivers having a successful day. I would like to give a little more tip of the hat to Loudon, as he was able to put in a qualifying time. Vladimir up 4 spots, was not able to get one in. Although Shaggy, this is a track where it's a little harder to put in a qualifying time. You get an off track and well, you got to go another 8.5 minutes before you get another chance. So I guess we can be a little more forgiving for a guy that couldn't put in a qualifying time.
No, you're exactly right. Last night, I averaged a little over one track per lap, so it's a tough deal. I think did Vincent Brame have a little trouble? Oh no! Commentator's curse.
Vincent Brame, his car is in pit lane, and he's spun it. I found it before he left. Our director has found it as well.
Yeah, just took too much curb. Looked like at high speeds. If you don't have the car set up with the right springs to take those curbs, oh man, they can kill you.
You know, you talked about the red mist. That might be a case of the red mist. He was racing so smoothly, and then the pit stop mistake. And as try as you might to be professional, it's sometimes it's hard, Shaggy, to get your concentration back, your rhythm back after you've known that, boy, you've given up those spots.
Hey man, it's something that we wish we could probably all get rid of sometimes, but that ego in us, that's what drives you to be a good race car driver. You make that dumb mistake in the pits and you're like, I know I'm quick, I got to get my way back up there, and you just push it too hard sometimes, and that's the way it goes, and you learn from it. That's the benefit, but you don't really see the benefit in it now. But leader made it to pit road. He's pitting.
Made it around. Gas tank has to be about as empty as a syrup bottle at a pancake social. So now let's turn our attention to David Burns. He's on the straight. He's coming. He's got that car full song. Byfield in his spot. Burns in the twisty section. Byfield being fueled. Burns on the straightaway. Byfield is there. This is going to be close. Byfield is rolling. Here comes Burns. He's not going to get him, but he's within shouting distance.
No, that was a lot closer than we expected, I think, because, let's be honest, Byfield, looking at the pit stop time, he even had a quicker pit stop. He's got to take less fuel to just do these last couple laps. But, man, Burns really turned it on. I wonder if maybe Byfield was having to save gas that last lap.
Might not have been his fastest lap. We ride on board now with Burns, who can see his target. Now, it should be pointed out, whether you take your pit stop early or you take your pit stop late, you're still going to need the same amount of fuel. If you're going to work, if you leave your garage in the morning and you got to get to work and it's 5 miles away, you can take the stop at the gas station around the corner from your house or the one closer to work. You still need the same amount of fuel, whether you've put it in early or put it in late. I think one of the advantages is Byfield knows exactly how much he needed to take, as he only probably needs to go, I don't know, this lap and one more maybe? We might be on the white flag lap for all we know.
Yeah, it's really tough to tell here. I've been trying to watch the flagman as people go by, but I haven't gotten any hints if we're on the white flag lap yet or not. But yeah, you're exactly right. They all need basically the same amount of fuel, but it's just how you can get it in there. And he was able to run that low fuel load lap, that qualifying time, and that's the big difference.
Continue our run through the field. Let's go look at car number 87, Matthew Chipperfield, racing in 10th. Racing in 9th. There we go. A mistake from Nutley. Chipperfield is able to pick up that position. Go ahead, Shaggy.
Well, I was going to say, add that to Nutley's list. He's another one who's going to be kicking himself. He was all over the back of Sauer for P5. And we never got to really see his true pace. He may have had something for Koppinen and Votek as well, but it just off tracks and the getting in the wall, it's really, really hurt him today.
Disappointing for him as well as our viewers, as he was really putting on the show early on. Final driver I want to talk about is car number 94, James Molyneux, the American driver with the French-sounding name. Still on the lead lap.
And he's in the only Lamborghini, too, I believe, in the field.
gap to the leader, if I do this right, I think it's about 5 minutes and 40 seconds. See what I did there? I added up all those numbers that are on the screen and came with 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Glad you are with us. This is the 5th stop on the Andy Morgan Cup schedule, but it's the 8th race. Remember, they do double headers. Whether it's a 20-minute sprint or a 40-minute endurance race, they pay the same. Marcus Byfeld has been dominant. Director, I'm not sure if we're able to do this. Can we throw up the points real quick? We didn't have time to show you that. I'm not sure if we're able to do that during that. We'll throw those up right now. You can see how those stands. Byfeld has been crushing it of late. He won both rounds last time out. Burns sitting in second. You know who we're missing today as you look at the standings? Bambi! You know, if there was ever a place for a deer to be able to be here in the woods at Nürburgring, Neil Bamber sitting in fourth. Josh Brame, we have not seen much of him since early on. He was competitive. Stefan Milas not here today. And then you see down there Mikael Endes. That's the results you get from one race. He picked up 38 points last time out. The two drivers in 9th and 10th, both very impressive. We welcome them to come back. Maybe keep Marcus Byfeld on us. There's your top 10.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to those guys coming back this week. I was hoping they'd be here. It would have been nice to see the guys go at it, all these different technical parts. We saw 2 weeks ago the speed that they brought, and man, that was an exciting race.
If you're watching, you can look up on your screen, upper right-hand corner. You see that we are at 38 minutes and 42, 43, 44 seconds right now of a 40-minute race. I think that the flagman is digging in his little, in his quiver of flags, and he is putting the white flag away and looking for the one that has the he'll find it. Looking for the checkered flag.
Yeah, some of these guys like Craig Greendatley and Vincent Brame, they can't wait for this checkered flag to come out and move on to next week.
Whenever you go to a blimp shot, you're asking for trouble here because there's so much foliage. But if we can look at Wojciech Podorczak, I'm not sure if we can get both Podorczak and Koppelman in the screen at the same time. Maybe we can scroll back. There they are. Oh, my director. Oh, man. When he reads my mind, it's a little bit scary. But there you get the interval of those two guys. Blimp shots are always a dangerous thing for the director to do here because cars tend to get lost in the German forest.
Cameraman's doing a wonderful job, though, of following the cars in that blimp. I'll tell you what, smooth camera.
Pretty speedy blimp, too. Got some big propellers on that baby. Let's go to Klaus Loudon for a minute, real quick, because he's hitting my favorite corner. Let's go on board with Loudon, because here he comes. This is going to be great. He's coming to my favorite corner, and it's always worth any broadcast here. We should be able to do this once. Whee! Oh, man, that is a fun corner.
It really is. If you miss that apex and go up over that banking, oh man, it is a ride. That happened to me a couple times last night.
You did some endurance racing. You had a night shift, did you? That's got to be rough.
Yeah, it was really weird too because we started in iRacing. It was opposite time of real life, so I was driving in the daytime in the dark. It's kind of weird.
Our leader is on the enormously long back straight. He's put the car on cruise control. Watch right there. If you can look at his right hand, he's reaching down for his cup of coffee right now. He's taking a sip. Probably maybe with a little schnitzel, perhaps, on the passenger seat. Taking a bite of that. Heading into the twisty section now. He's got the right-hander, left-hander, the right-hander. He's been on a roll. It's your points leader. Marcus Byfield picks up another win, but he didn't do it by all that much, as Burns was within sight of him. And Third Degree comes across in second.
No, I think Burns be the first person to admit that on a 8.5-minute track to finish 5 seconds behind Byfield, that's a win.
There's Wojciech Potocek, who put on a nice run. He'll take home third, up 2 spots from where he started. TJ Koppelman coming across in fourth. Now, folks, this is where we usually go to break. But because this is such a big track and we really can't start the post-race show until everybody finishes, we'll just stay with you, give a little screen time to all of these drivers. Look at that beautiful blue machine there. Ludwig Sauer. Sauer, I think, would admit that he's probably better in open-wheeled cars than these fenders. But he's going to bring that Mercedes across in fifth.
I mean, we saw him put on an excellent case of defensive driving there against Nutley, forced Nutley to make a mistake, and I mean, that allowed him to bring home the top 5, so good run for Ludwig.
In the twisty section now, as he misses the apex while he's on camera. Come on, Klaus. That's not when you want to have your driving mistake. Klaus Loudon. Really well done, as he is up 5 spots from where he started. He is our big mover. He comes home in 6th. Brian DeBelou behind him in 7th. Through the right-hander, and then the left-hander, and then back to the right-hander now is Vladimir Sejcik. He's going to get 8th spot. Matthew Chipperfield. Do some artistic camera work now as we see the cars go. Boy, I like that one as he drives by. You can see the speed. Those cars get in. You can see the brake lights. No.
No brakes yet.
No brakes yet. 3 more corners for Matthew. He started in 12th. He'll come home with a nice handful of points as it pays down to 15th. Greg Nutley was 10th that time around, but he crashed on this lap, so he's not going to get 10th.
Hey, look, hey, James waited so we could show your favorite corner again, Soup. That was nice.
Yeah, that was nice. Oh, James, you got a long way to go. What we will do right now, let's bring up the graphics for when our next broadcasts are going to be. Oh, we're not able to do that. We're trying to improvise here, trying to save a little time on this Sunday morning. What you can do right now is head over to your TV, try to find your local, where you can find Peacock, and maybe you can watch some Indy 500 bump day qualifying going on right now. With that said, we'll take a short break. We'll come back, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching the Virtual Grit Network.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in endorsed series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie Supercars and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Nürburgring and the Virtual Grip Network's 5th round coverage of race number 8 in the Andy Morgan Cup season number 36. Well, James Molyneux finally made it across the finish line, and that allows us to go to the post-race show and bring up the final finishing order for you. You certainly saw him come across the line, but we'll run these down. I'm going to take the first 8. I'll give Shaggy the back 7 here. Marcus Byfield is your winner. He's won a bunch, and he pretty much has clinched now the championship. David Third Degree Burns is in second with Jacek Potacek and TJ Koppelman fourth and fifth. Ludwig Sauer comes home, in fifth. There we go. Now we got it straightened out. Klaus Loudon in sixth. Seventh goes to Brian Deblue. All right. Eighth position, Shaggy, who you got?
Vladimir Stedskoll is going to bring home P8. Matthew Chipperfield behind him in P9. And the final finisher on the lead lap, we saw him cross the line, James Molyneux, going to come home P10. Gregory Nutley's going to come home P11. Saw him have a couple off tracks, but he was quick tonight. Arguably could have had a top 5, but a little bad luck for him. Vincent Brame's going to come home 12th. We saw him as well have pit stop troubles for him, and then just a little overdrive and trying to get back up there. So tough break for Vincent. Ryan Campbell's going to bring it home 13th. Isaac Malmkvist, the newcomer, we saw him with a spin out on lap 1 there. He's going to come home 4 laps down. And Tom, he made a couple laps there in practice, but never saw Tom make the grid. He's going to bring it home P15.
This being a big track, it's a long walk from the start-finish line to where we are in the booth, so we'll give the drivers a little time to get over here. While they're waiting for them to come across, let's talk about when we're going to be on the air again next time. If you like this broadcast, we're going to do it again next week. That's going to be we're going to Bathurst. That will be just fun. Up and down the hill. We're not going to Bathurst? It's Mount Oh, well, that is Bathurst. They're complaining in my ear. I just kind of took the nickname there of that one. There we go. Mount Panorama, where we're going for week 11, Sunday, May 26th. For that one, that'll be a fun one. But before then, how about the Pretty Good Racing League Premier Series? That's going to be at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the season finale for that. Oh, that's going to end. Their Tuesday nights are going to be over. That'll be fun, but we'll find something else to do on Tuesday nights here at VGN. With that said, we look down into the broadcast booth too far for interviews, so we don't have any interviews today. So I'll simply go into the closet, look for your hat. We don't have a hat for you. Until next time, have fun storming the castle.